Decentralizing the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, increasing manpower in the Department of Immigration, and equipping law enforcement agencies with tools needed to tackle the country's growing immigration problem. According to the Immigration Minister, the government's doing what it can to address the long-standing problem, but he's not taking too kindly to the recommendations of a former minister whose policy he believes have not helped the situation. Cleopatra Murphy has tonight's top story.
Minister of Labor and Immigration, the Honorable Keith Bell, is taking the former Minister of Immigration, Brent Simonet, to task over his suggestion that government clamp down on the number of work permits granted annually to combat the country's immigration woes. With approximately 15,000 permits granted annually, just a portion of the 30,000 that are processed, Bell says the 2017 Commercial Enterprises Act that mandates a work permit be issued within 14 days, regardless of due diligence, passed while Simonet served as Minister of Immigration, contributes to the problem.
I know, having sat as in the chair of now as the Minister of Immigration, that it is almost an impossibility for an application to be submitted today and within 14 days that we would have done, Immigration Department would have done its due diligence. It is impossible.
Bell says the department has to ensure medical records and other documents presented are not fraudulent, but according to the Act, a permit has to be approved and can only be rescinded for public safety, public morality, or national security purposes. The minister has spoken to Attorney General Ryan Pinder about repealing the legislation. Bell also addressed the expansion of Abaco's shantytown community, The Farm, that has grown from 50 acres prior to Hurricane Dorian to now more than 200 acres. He says after the Supreme Court injunction that ordered the Minister administration to cease the demolition of Abaco's shantytowns in 2021, the Department of Immigration, the Ministry of National Security, Social Services, and the Ministry of Housing are now working collectively to address those issues.
We just became the government in 2021. So the former administration, in my view, ought to give an account for what happened between that period. Why is it that adequate housing, etc., was not provided for, and why was that area allowed to expand in such significant proportions overnight?
Member of Parliament for Central and South Abaco, John Pinder, recently suggested there be stiffer penalties for those who employ illegal migrants, warning the illegal population is closing in on Bahamians and could surpass 10,000. Bell agrees with the push for stiffer penalties, but says the conversation should be on what government is doing, highlighting the more than $200 million investment in new vessels for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force in 2014 through the Sandy Bottom Project and the pending graduation of 173 immigration trainees. The question, though, is government doing enough?
To me, I may say yes. To you, you may say no. But the fact of the matter is, scientifically, the numbers speak that we have repatriated in excess of 2,000 persons already for the year. We have put persons before the court. There are a number of active investigations. Boots are on the ground. We have done recruitment, and you will see an increase in resources in all of these areas. So in my view, the answer is yes.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.